All right, more composite figures. Now, this would be the guy that I was talking about where some of us along the way have an issue seeing the directionality of it. Don't worry, I have nothing as to how to help because I'm more visually minded, but so that means reach out if you don't see it so I can try to say it in a different direction, like a different way for you. So ultimately, and this is going to be a rough sketch, we always think about the base being on the bottom. So this would be this shape if we were to put it on its base, because we would want to slice this way. If we were looking for slices of bread, again, this is our base, that would give us good tops and bottom sandwiches. For triangular prisms like this, the Toblerone candy bars, if you've ever seen them, they're usually, like I always think about them, they're usually in the impulse buy candy part in Walmart like lines, or they used to be. It's been a long time since I've ever bought those. I mean, since I've bought those. But, and then if you've ever had them, if you pop them apart, they pop apart in perfect little triangular prisms. So in this case, our base is this triangle, and the height, so the number of slices is going to run this way, which is a little different for some people to kind of get the general idea. So this is going to be 7 because that 7's there, like the height of your triangle when you look at it, because this is going to look like this. So the height of the triangle is 7, because remember, for prisms, its volume is big BH, and big B in this case is going to be a triangle, and the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, and then we're going to count how many triangles are in the full stack. So we have our height, and we need the base of the triangle, which is at 17. So height, and then the 17 across here, and I'm just trying to draw it in all the different ways you might have to see it. And that would be my 1/2 base times height portion. So the big B. So 1/2 base is going to be times 17, and then times height is 7. You may also see this as 17 times 7 divided by 2, and that's fine. So 17 times 7 divided by 2 is going to give us 59.5. So big B is 59.5. And again, we're only working on the triangular prism at this point. This is your triangular prism. And prism just means, like I said, it's like the bologna stack or the slices of bread, no matter their shape. They're just going to repeat all the way down. So this is our big B. Our height, so how many are in the stack, is this way, because that's the direction we're going to slice our bread. And that's going to match here. So it's 12, 12, and 12 here as well. If you think about the outside of a house, this is like a house with a roof. So 12 back, so that's going to be times 12. So we're going to take that 59.5 and times it by 12. Now we're going to get 714. In this case, it's meters cubed, and that's for our triangular. So this is for the roof, if you'd like to put it that way, like if you can envision this as a house. The bottom guy, these are amazing. So square or rectangular prisms, try to be careful depending on where you look at these, and a lot of you will find the pattern yourself and use it without thinking. It is still the same thing as a cylinder. As a triangular prism, you're finding the area of the base shape, which in this case is a 17 by 12 rectangle. So that's our big B. H, that's length times width. And then how many are in the stack, which is this direction. And ultimately, you could flip them around. So the base could be this side, and how many in the stacks this way. Because a lot of students, like I said, they find the pattern where it's just 10 times 17 times 12. So they just multiply the 3 numbers together. I will say it's not a terribly inaccurate way to do it most of the time, but they will throw things in there like extra information, extra numbers, all that fluff. And that's when we end up with the mistake. So that's 2,040 meters cubed. This is for your rectangular prism. So the base, the house part, both of, whoops, I put this in the wrong place, prism. Both are great answers for each, but not answer this question because we now have to add those together. So plus 714. And our final answer, let's see if I can find a color so it'll stand out, 2,754 meters cubed. So this is the answer to number 1. So if it said find the volume of the composite figure or of the figure drawn, then the 2,754 would be your answer. If it was multiple choice, EOC is not a ton of multiple choice. I like to do multiple choice because honestly, I want you to be confident enough to be able to bypass the wrong answers. These guys will be there because we get excited, we did the math right, and we see an answer and we jump. Be careful. Slow down. Make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing. Number 2. So we have a cone. And again, another rectangular prism. And apparently today I'm not going to spell prism correctly. I want to put it on the end instead of before the M. Prism, rectangular prism. Now, not a lot of information as neatly drawn as like your first two or even the first one for our notes today. You're going to have to do some thinking. So this cone goes from this end all the way to this end, which is the same as this here. So the diameter of our cone is going to be 6, which means the radius is going to be 3. Because remember, a cone is the same as a cylinder, but we pinched it. So pi r squared, that's our circular base. How many are in the stack? And then we're going to divide it by 3 or multiply by 1/3 because we pinched the top. Again, like I think about, then that makes that triangle, like a flat triangle. So we're going to use 3.14 because that's what the first note said when we first started our page for our pi. Our radius is going to be 3 squared. Our height is 8. Then we're going to divide by 3 once we get all that into our calculator. Again, you can plug it into your calculator or in Desmos in whatever form you want. Just make sure it's right. I'm a big fan, like I said, as always, of overwriting because I don't trust that I speak calculator consistently well, especially if I'm not paying really close attention. So 75.36, which is going to be 75.4 inches cubed, and that is our cone. So that's the top part of this guy. Now we have that rectangular prism again, so hopefully you see the 11, the 6, and the 4. We can pretend like the base is this way, like a loaf of bread, and we're going to slice it this way. So our big B, H, so our big B is length times width. And then we're going to multiply it by the number of slices we're going to make all the way back if we decide to turn it this way. Or if you see the base is 11 by 6, that's fine, because then there's 4 in the stack as our height. And it'll work, because it's multiplication, it works out no matter which order you put those in. So 11 times 6 is going to give me 66, and we're going to multiply that by 4, and that's going to be 264 inches cubed. Again, both of these answers are fantastic, but they're not it because it's a combined figure. So we're going to add those together, and we get 339.4 meters cubed. Beautiful. I'm going to take a break. See you for the next one.